Hi everyone, I continue on the lesson. So far, we saw solving quadratic equation by factoring. If we couldn't factor, we could do with complete square. Complete square is a technique that you can use for all type, factorable or non-factorable. But what I said about technique number 2, which is complete square, is the number beside x square must be 1. Okay, so at the beginning, even from the beginning, you saw all the examples. The number beside x squared is 1. Here, the number beside x squared is 1. And here, the number beside x squared is 1. But here, no, it's not 1. So what should I do here? So my method here is I have to factor 2. So when I factor 2, I factor 2 from all the terms. Okay, so it is 2 multiple x squared minus x divided by 2 minus 6 equals 0. Remember, I'm not forgetting 2, but because I am solving the equation, when I factor 2, then I have two things in multiplication. So when I have AB equals 0, it's either A equals 0 or B equals 0. Here A is not 0 because A is 2. Okay, so look at this. If I have AB equals 0, it's A equals 0 or B equals 0. This is just a theorem in mathematics. So now when I factor 2, I say, okay, so either 2 is 0 or the bracket is 0. 2 is not 0, that's impossible. So the bracket is 0. But remember, I am just factoring 2 to reach to a bracket which has 1 beside x squared. And because I want to solve it, I don't need to think about 2, I just think about the bracket. But if I give you this, for example, I just give you this 2x squared minus x minus 6, just this is one math expression, okay? This is not equation. So I see this, then I see a student, they factor 2 and forget 2. When you factor 2 and even you don't consider 2, means you are changing your equation, you are changing your expression, and that's wrong. So if I have something equals 0, yes, I can factor 2 and I say, okay, so the bracket equals 0. But okay, so the bracket equals 0. But when I have just a math expression, I'm not able to factor 2. So do you know what I mean here? See, for example, I give this to a student, so 2x squared minus x minus 6. They do, so this is just math expression, so it's not equal 0. No, just one without equal. So I say, okay, I say this is here, and I say, please simplify it for me if you can. Okay, here you can't because we cannot factor this, but I say, okay, make it completing a square. For example, I see a student, they do this. 2 factor x squared minus x over 2 minus 3, and then they forget 2 and they work with this one. If you do this, you are changing your question because you are factoring 2 and forgetting 2. That's wrong. Okay? But here it's different. I have equal 0. So I factor 2 mathematically. When I have multiplication, I say the first one equals 0 or the second one equals 0. 2 is not 0, so of course I am sure this one equals 0. And then I have 1 here. So I use the number beside x, which is 1 over 2. I divided by 2, which is minus 1 over 4. Then I square it, which is 1 over 16, and then I add that. Okay, so So maybe I even don't I don't remove 2, okay, because I want you to see it, okay. Yeah, okay, so 1 second. Yeah, okay, so you have 2 multiple x squared minus x over 2 minus 6 plus 1 over 16 minus 1 over 16 equal 0. Okay, this together, this together. So it's 2 multiple, 2 bracket, so parenthesis x minus 1 over 4. How do I know? I have it from here. Okay, x minus 1 over 4 squared, okay, minus 49 over 16, okay, equals 0. So again, 2 is here just a coefficient. 2 is a number, so I cannot have it equal 0. So I say, okay, so x minus this equals 0 squared. So x minus 1 over 4 squared is 49 over 16, which is x minus 1 over 4 equal plus minus radical 49 over 16, which is x minus 1 over 4 equal plus minus 7 over 4. So it is really factorable because I don't have any radical. Okay, so one answer is x equal 1 over 4 plus 7 over 4, which is 8 over 4, which is 2. And one answer is 1 over 4 minus 7 over 4, which is x equal minus 6 over 4, which is minus 3 over 2. Okay, so let me see. Just something. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so far so good. So yes. Okay, let me see. If I use 2, what happened? 2, so I just have to check. So 8, yes, 8 minus, so that's correct. So if I use minus 1.5, so it is 2 multiple, this, minus this, minus this, okay. Yes, okay, so yes, okay, so plus that minus this. Yeah, yeah, both of them are, yeah, correct. Okay, so this is another question and I have to do the same thing. I have to factor 3. Then I have 3 multiple bracket equals 0. The only way I can have that equal 0 is the bracket equals 0. Bracket should be 0. So I have to do the same thing. I have to check for x, the number beside x. I have to divide it by 2. I have to use a squared. I have to add and subtract. And then at the end, I see I have this answer. Okay. Now I want to do the same thing that I did for this question. This is a general case. So when I do this for that, so what do you notice here? What do you guess? Your guess maybe right, maybe no, but because it's A, B, C, it's not numbers, so maybe I can reach to a formula. So this is a proof then. So I'm proving it, okay? So which students are not very comfortable with that, but if you know what to do, it's easy. Okay, so I have this guy and I want to solve it. What should I do? Okay, I don't see one here. Oops. I don't see one here. Okay, I factor A. I factor A, x squared plus b over ax plus c over a equals 0. Then I check this guy. Okay, so b over a, I divide it by 2, which is b over 2a. Then I use power 2, which is b squared over 4a squared. Oh, perfect. So I add and subtract. I add and subtract inside the bracket. Or I can just don't talk about a because I know a is not 0. Okay, b over a x plus c over a plus b squared over 4a squared minus b squared over 4a squared equals 0. A multiple. Okay, so I consider this and this and this. Okay, these two together. Okay, so it is x plus b over 2a squared. Okay, how do I know? I check here. See? Okay, so maybe I changed another color, otherwise I don't have your attention because in many cases I use yellow. Okay, so that's that. And so in order to make it easy for myself, I don't need to consider that. Okay, so that's that plus c over a minus b squared over 4a squared. Then I can so find the common denominator for those two. So I can say, yes, I can say it's x plus b over 2a squared plus, so let me see here, c over a minus b squared. Okay, so I can say 4a squared, 4a squared. So for this one I use 4a c minus b squared. Okay, yes, equals 0. So then I have x plus b over 2a squared equal, I take it to the other side because I take it to the other side, I change the sign. So it's this guy. So it is x plus b over, x over b plus over 2a equal plus minus radical b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Okay, which is x plus b over 2a equal plus minus radical b squared minus 4ac over 2a, because that's 4a squared, so I bring it out of the bracket, sorry, out of radical. Okay, so now I can say, so x is minus b over 2a plus minus radical b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, and x is minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So you can notice I found the formula. So if I have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then I can use all these numbers here in the formula to just find my answer. Okay, but in the same order and perfect. And don't say a is the first one. A is beside x squared, b is beside x, c is just a number. Okay, so now you can use the quadratic formula which is here. Look at that. So we found the same formula, minus b plus minus radical b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Perfect. So many times I see a student, they just mix this here. So they use 4ac minus b squared under radical. They forget plus minus. They forget that divided by 2a is for all of them, not just one of them. Okay, so just pay attention to use the formula correctly. And that's very easy. You don't need to factor. You don't need to do completing a square. You just use the formula in order to find the answer. Remember, in Math 273, if you don't go by factoring, you can go by this method. sometimes we have to go by factoring. So I will show you, or your teacher will show you in that course. But you don't need, if you use the formula, it gives you the answer. Okay, let's do it for this formula. Okay, so x is 6 plus minus radical 36 minus 4 multiple 1 multiple 8 over 2, which is 6 plus minus radical, did I make any mistake? Okay, 36 minus 32, which is 4 over 2, which is 6 plus minus 2 over 2, which is 8 over 2, or 4 over 2, 2 and 4. Okay, so means this one is even factorable because I don't have any radical in the answer. So when I don't have any radical means it's factorable. Okay, so you can factor. So what is the factor when you factor? So it is x minus 4 multiple x minus 2 equals 0. Yes. Okay, but I didn't bother, I used the formula. Okay, how about this? Okay, x squared plus 10x plus 7 equals 0. Remember, 7 goes the other side and change the sign. Now you use the formula here. Okay, when you use the formula here, it is x equal, so maybe I just go b side here. Okay, so minus 10 plus minus 100 minus 4 multiple 1 multiple 7 over 2, 2a, a is 1, equal minus 10 plus minus radical 100 minus 28, 100 minus 28 over 2, which is minus 10 plus minus 72 over 2, right? Which is minus 10 plus radical 72 over 2, that you can simplify radical 72. Maybe you can simplify 2. Yes, but if you don't, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's that here. That's exact. And minus 10 minus radical 72 over 2. This is exact. These are both exact. But if I don't want that, I can use my calculator. If I use my calculator, it is minus 10 plus radical 72 divided by 2, which is minus 0.757 3, which here I can use to 3 significant digit, which is almost 0.757. And how about this one? So this, which is minus 9.2426, which is almost minus 9.243. Okay, so these are rounded answers. So when you use your calculator, that's rounded. Okay, how about this one? So here it's already done, so you can use the formula here. When you use the formula, you see on the radical is 0. So you see, instead of 2 answers, you just have 1 answer. Doesn't matter, it's possible. If I want to show you the graph looks like this, because I just have 1 answer, just 1. If it is like that, I have 2 answers. If it is like this, I have no answer, and all of them are possible. Okay, so now I can do this example and it show me no answer. Why? Because under the radical is minus. Do it for sure. Do it on your own. On the radical, if on the radical is negative, there is no real answer. Yes, I know imaginary, yes, but I don't need because I'm working with real numbers. So it's possibility to have no answer, 1 answer, or 2 answer. In which case, look at here. If I have On the radical positive, I have two answers, plus and minus radical. If I have on the radical equal 0, I have just one answer. The same as here, just one answer. Because on the radical is 36 minus 36 equals 0. If I have on the radical minus, then you say there is no answer because there is no number here for radical negative. Okay, so that's impossible. Okay, so now tell me how many roots we have here. These are examples that we can say. See, I didn't ask what are the roots. I just say how many. I just said how many we have. Oh, okay, so how many? I don't need to bother. I can do b squared minus 4ac. What is b? Oops, b, a, c. Okay, b. So it's 400 minus 4 multiple 3 multiple 2, which is 400 minus 24, which is 376. That positive, I have two answers. Two roots. I can say two roots. So two roots. How about here? How about here? Okay, so how many roots I have? Means if y equals 0, what is the how many roots I have? Okay, so the same thing. This is A, this is B, this is C. Tell me. 9 b squared minus 4 multiple minus 8 multiple minus 1, which is 9 minus 32, right? Which is minus 23. That's negative. No roots because it's negative. On the radical negative, no, impossible to have a root. How about here? This is A, this is B, this is C. That's a very good question because they change the order. So you have to pay attention. It's not always in the middle one is not B. No, you have to look at what is there. Beside x squared is A, beside x is B, beside just a number is C. So b squared is okay, 10 squared minus 4 multiple 5 multiple 5, which is 100 minus 100 equals 0. So one root because under radical is 0. So plus minus 0. Plus minus radical is 0. Plus minus 0. So I just have one answer. Okay? So we have this practice here. I want you to do them, but I can give you just answer here. Okay? So let me, yeah. Just I can write the answer for A, B, C. Okay, for A, B, C. So you have 2 and 4. Here you have 3, and here you have 3 and minus 1 over 5. How about here? D, E, F. Okay. For D, E, F, D, E, F. For D is minus 2 and 1 over 3, minus 3, and 2 and 7. These are very good questions. Work on them. How about this one here? I need to find A to have one root, not two roots. So I have to find b squared minus a for minus 4ac equals 0 and then find the answer for A. Okay? So here A is 9 over 8. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, 3 here. So how about C here? Okay, so what is the value of C would give two roots? Okay, here I feel I have to do that. See, this is 2x squared minus x minus c equals 0. Okay, so I want to have two real roots. So means b squared minus 4ac must be positive, not 0, not negative, because I want really two roots. Okay, what is b squared? 1 power 1 squared minus 4 multiple 2 multiple minus c. So sorry. So it is 1 minus, so 1 plus 8c positive. So it is 8c positive minus 1, and c is more than minus 1 over 8. Okay, c must be more than this. Remember, mathematically, I just need to tell you this. Mathematically, if I have, for example, if I have, how do I explain this? Okay, if I have minus, so, okay, minus 2a more than minus 2b, and I divide both sides with minus 2, then I have a less than b. Okay, because it's impossible, because when I divide both sides with negative, I have to change the order. But if I have 2a more than 2b and I divide by 2, I divide by positive, I don't change. No, it's stay a more than b. Okay, here I divide both sides with 8, so 8 is positive, so I don't need to change to, instead of more than, I don't need to change it to less than. Do you know what I mean? That's important note that you really need to know. If you have something not equal, more than or less than, if you divide both sides with positive, you don't change the direction. But if you divide by negative, you do. Okay, so how about here? Here the answer, you can say this many seconds. Okay, so that's the answer. So I really want you to work on them because these are very good questions. Here length is 6.246. Okay, one leg is that, so find the length, so that's centimeter. I need to have the unit here. Okay, centimeter, because it says centimeter there. Okay, how about question 6? So this. Okay, I want you to work on them. If you have question, let me know. Okay, so this one and this one and this one, or this one and this one and this one. How about here? Find two numbers whose summation is this. Okay, so 5 and 6. Okay, so but try to work on them. These questions are word problem or not word problem. They are, at the end, they give you one quadratic formula and you have to solve it. If I don't say how to solve it, you can use technique number 3. Technique number 3 is the formula. Make sure to know the formula. Many times I see a student, they don't know the formula and they are using a wrong formula and it will be wrong. So just 1 second. So my pen just fell down. This is okay. Okay, so funny. Okay, so how about here? So here, yes, okay, so here, okay, so here, that's the last one. Yes, okay, that's the last one. Okay, so a number, here I can do this. A number is increased by its square. A number is increased by its square. So means x. Okay, so see, I read the question. A number is increased by its square is equal to 9 times the next higher number. Find the number. Okay, so when it says next the higher number, so means we are talking about natural number or whole numbers. Otherwise, in real numbers, I cannot say next one higher. Doesn't make any sense because there are many numbers. So next higher number. So means, for example, if I have 5, I talk about 6. So here, I read the question, understand, then I define my variable. Let x to be the number. So the number is increased. Oh my goodness. At least for this question, please help us, and then we are done. X plus x squared is equal 9 times x plus 1. Okay, so I have to find x. What is x? So I just have to simplify. X squared plus x minus 9x minus 9 equals 0. Agree? So I have x squared minus 8x minus 9 equals 0. So x is, let's find it. So 8 plus minus radical 64 minus 4 times 1 times 9, right? Beautiful. So it is 8 plus minus radical 64 minus 36. 64 minus 36 is 28 over 2. So I have to see where did I make mistake here. So is 9 times next higher number. So a number is increased by its square and is equal to 9 times the higher number. So it is x squared plus x. Yes, and okay, so but how can I find the answer here? Because 64 minus, okay, so 4. Maybe my brain is not working here. So 64 minus this, and yeah, okay, so what else here? Must be a number is increased by its square and is equal to 9 times the next higher number. Is equal next higher number, so x plus 1. So 9x minus plus 9, and then 9x minus 9x minus 9. And that's the minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac. Oh, sorry, I have minus here. Yes. So means, sorry about that, means 64 plus 36. Yes, so I think I'm very tired. Okay, so it's x 8 plus minus 100 radical 100 over 2, which is 8 plus minus 10 over 2, which is 18 over 2, which is 9. 8 minus 10 minus 2 over 2, which is minus 1. Okay, so the answer is these two. So both of them, if you add the number with a square of the number, so 9 plus 81 is 90, which is 9 multiple 9 plus 1, yes, which is, okay, so 9 plus 81 is 90. That's 9 multiple the higher number, which is 9 multiple 10. That's 90. Yes, both of them. And how about that? So minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 squared, which is minus 1 plus 1, which is 0, is 9 times 0, which is minus 1 plus 1, the higher number, minus 1 plus 1, which is 9 times 0, and that's 0. Yes, perfect. For both of them it works. And that's the answer. Okay, so we are done by the lesson. Topic 15, 16, 17. These three topics are very important for Math 273. I wanted to do them when you are more, just your brain is just helping me, because it's not end of the semester. I didn't want to wait until end of the semester, and I really want you to do all the practice which I added to the lesson. I posted practice. Also, you can search to find, and these are very good exercise for your brain, and you really need them for Math 273. Otherwise, Math 273 will be very hard. Okay, so I just want to fix this guy here, and then I am just done here. So that's video number 3. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.